Hello, good evening, welcome to Thingamajigs Racing Channel. This is rather annoying. We got interrupted by the internet being weird, and hopefully we're back up and running. And I don't know. This is like we were halfway through the feature race, a 40-minute race, using the softs and using 2 compounds of the sports tyres from all available. Skyjacker pitted on lap 2. From mediums to softs, and has been running since. We were questioning whether or not his fuel can make it, and I've knocked it back to 17:44 because I think someone in the chat said we got up to about 18 minutes. So yes, that's Skyjacker's story. He was on the mediums, pitted on lap 2 from sort of midfield, third I think, and has put on a set of soft tyres and has been on those soft tyres ever since. Koikarp has recently pitted, but he's put on another set of softs. He was started on the softs and he's gone to another set of softs and he's filled right up. So we're intrigued on what his plans are. He must be coming in for a splash and dash near the end. The pits closed for the first 5 minutes and last 5 minutes of the race, of a 40-minute race. So it's interesting to see what Koikarp his next move's going to be. He needs to use another compound of tyre, so he's not running all the way to the end. Big Dan also pitted on lap 2, but he's been absolutely slinging Toyota ever since, burning through fuel and tyre, and we're not sure he can make it to the end of the race on what he's got, but he may do. I've got it so wrong before. So Big Dan then has used 2 compounds of tyres, pitted, and is pushing to try and catch up with Koi and Skyjacker. Shadow Rider was leading for a good while on the medium tyre, but dropped down to second and then third. He hit a wall and decided to go into the pits and make his pit stop. So he's gone onto the softs, and that was on lap, oh my word, lap 6. It was the last lap. Oh yeah, he's just finishing his out lap, so he only has recently gone onto the soft tyre. Sitting in 4th, if those guys have to pit ahead of him, he is in a fantastic place, so we will see. He has used both compounds of tyres. Jamie Dodger started on the mediums, pitted on lap 2 like the other guys, and has been running on the softs ever since. Electric has not pitted yet, I believe. He is still running on his original medium tyres, and he's really struggling with that Toyota. He has been wayward. And Pat has pitted and gone on to the soft tyres, pitted in lap 5. And we suspect he is running to the end. So we will continue this race. And I am hugely apologising for the disruption. I don't know what it was. The only thing that has changed was that my 15-year-old had turned his computer on to start Minecraft. And I said, well, did it update? He says, I don't think so. So I don't know. There was a blip in the matrix. And it all went to schnizzle. But we've still got 20 minutes of racing left, so hopefully you'll stick with us as Skyjacker then continues on his way ahead of Koikarp. And again, like I said, Koikarp hasn't used 2 compounds of tyres. He's been on the soft tyre. He has made a pit stop, but he's gone back onto the soft tyre. So I am assuming around the 35-minute mark, he'll be looking to come in and put a set of mediums on. He's filled up all the way. Big Dan in 3rd. Ahead of Shadow Rider. So there's all still to race for. They're a little spaced out, but Shadow Rider, I'm almost certain, isn't going to have to make another pit stop. Big Dan's fuel is tight, and Skyjacker's fuel very tight. Koikarp's filled up, and it's an uncertainty here. Jamie Dodger, he's done very well with his fuel. He's sitting in 5th at the moment, but if Shadow Rider doesn't have to pit, he's not going to be able to get by him. Electric yet to make a pit stop in this race. And Pat recently making his stop, and still fighting with the Toyota. So Skyjacker leads, and it's all about who's got to do what's going to do who's going to do who. Yeah, the next move, I suppose, in this game. So Adam saying, great to have you back, Thingy, thanks. And Adam saying, it'll be great to see who has the strategy sussed in this one. It's yeah. I can't make sense of Koi Carps. I don't know why he just didn't put the medium tyre on. Ooh, he's hit the... oh, Skyjacker, oh my word. Skyjacker, a blip. May have just happened in Skyjacker's race plan. Comes around the final corner, just a subtle knock with the wall, and it's easy to do. And yeah, it sent him to the other side. And is he deciding to make a second stop now? No, he's just a nice manoeuvre to get the car going, and that's Big Dan up and into second, and Koi Carp in the lead. And now I bet Koi Carp wishes he put a set of medium tyres on. So halfway through, Koi Carp on his second set of soft tyres, and leading the race with Big Dan in second, but the fuel not getting him all the way. Skyjacker looked solid for a while there, and he's given up a lot of space and 2 positions. No, well, I say he's given up. It was a little tap with the wall. It was barely nothing, sir. And it spun him around. So Skyjacker, a lot of work to do now. Shadow Rider, we think, could be going to the end. Maybe he might not be because of the fuel. I can't judge the fuel, ladies and gents. I'm really sorry. It's all over the place. Electric is the only one that hasn't pitted, and he's made that fuel last just over halfway. But then you've got Shadow Rider, he's almost on half a tank, and I'm thinking, well, that's not going to last for the rest of this race, is it? So yeah, it's a lot depending on who's if they're doing a lot of fuel saving, a lot of lift and coasting happening. Koi Carp at the moment, I think he's got the fuel to get into the end. I just don't think he's got the tyres. He's infringement of the rules, so he's going to have to make a stop to put medium tyres on. Big Dan, at the moment, he is absolutely slinging Toyota without care or abundance about strategy. And Skyjack saying, oh, hello again. I know, what a nightmare, the internet, eh? And Adam saying, hey up, Skyjacker. So Big Dan, I already changed from Virgin to another one. I can't change again. I'm going to have to deal with it, although this is a lot cheaper, so I don't care as much if it cuts out, because it's only 25 a month rather than 70 a month. So Big Dan pushing on with Koi Carp, doing a fantastic job in the lead. You don't want to hit that wall. That's the wall that put Skyjacker into the other side. So Big Dan hunting him down. Skyjacker trying to get back on top of his strategy, with a lot to deal with at the moment. The Jammy Dodger in 4th place, ahead of Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider, is he closing in? Jammy Dodger last time around at 25.2 from Jammy Dodger. Shadow Rider 30.9. He must have made a mistake in that. Oh yeah, he's got damage at the back end of his Toyota. And Electric then 29.8 last time around, with Pat there in 7th. Pat fighting with the Toyota, struggling with it a little bit, you could say. So Skyjack saying, it's okay, bud, we know it isn't something that you can avoid. Sugar happens. I know, but it's frustrating. So Koi then, I think he's being caught. He's just done his fastest lap of a 23.3 last time out, 22.9 from Big Dan, but he has pushed it into the 21s at some point. And Skyjacker now chasing down the Big Dan. Shadow Rider ahead of the Dodger now. The Dodgers had a moment. The Dodger having a moment there. He had a bit of damage on his car, and Shadow Rider then back up into fourth. It looked like Shadow Rider had given up that spot to the Dodger, and now the Dodger giving up the spot to Shadow Rider. Electric in sixth. His fuel is on the bottom. He's got to come in this lap, I'm sure, with 15 minutes of the race to go. No, not 15. Yeah, 15 minutes of the race to go, just over. The pits will only be open for another 10 minutes, but I don't think Electric's fuel tank's going to wait around for that. Pat on half a tank at the moment, doing a solid job, and he might be looking to get himself ahead of Electric, but Electric's going to be out on a fresh set of soft tyres and running all the way to the end. Jammy Dodger looking like he is ready. He's one of those that pitted on lap 2, remember. Big Dan's in. Big Dan is in, and so is Skyjacker. So that question is answered. So Koi Carp does get an opportunity to make another stop and put the medium tyres on. Interesting. Shadow Rider continues on. We think Shadow Rider may be one stopping. Can he jump Big Dan and Skyjacker, both stationary? And that's Shadow Rider up and into second place. But does he have the pace to maintain it? Does he have the fuel to reach the end? Koi Carp as well. These guys are all on half a tank. Big Dan comes out. He's got full tanks. Full tanks for Big Dan. Skyjacker's gone for 3/4 of a tank, but Big Dan, we know, wants to heavy throttle this bad boy. Onto another set of soft tyres. Jammy Dodger's in as well, and so is Electric. This is Electric's first stop. And Pat also in. So Koi Carp, he does have a pit stop in hand. He was ahead of those guys when they pitted. Shadow Rider, possibly not. Shadow Rider, we think, going all the way to the end, but then looking at the fuel that Big Dan and Skyjacker have chosen, but Shadow Rider did get his fuel quite a way, didn't he? He pitted on lap 6. It's a tough one to call. I'm struggling. I am struggling. I will openly admit I can't call it with the fuel. But Sky, never been closer to Big Dan. He's always been ahead of, but he's close now to the rear of Big Dan. Big Dan's going to have to be uber careful. Skyjacker, his car is a quarter of a tank lighter, if that has anything. They do say it does affect it, the weight. So Skyjacker's car a little bit lighter than Big Dan's at the moment. But Skyjacker, he's going to have to be thoughtful on how much acceleration, how much throttle, how many revs he's going to burn to get past Big Dan if fuel is calculated tightly. And Skyjacker then goes for the move. Big Dan feels that he can give that pawn up at this point. The bigger game is the Queen, and Big Dan saving the Queen for later in the race. Skyjacker then burns past, and Big Dan just happy to sit in his wake, it seems. Jammy Dodger pitting out ahead of Electric, who's out ahead of the Pat. Well, Pat pitted as well. And Shadow Rider, I don't know. I don't think. Yeah. I don't know. I just can't tell Shadow Rider's fuel. He pitted late enough. He got that car so late into the race. But I mean, it's lap 6, and he had a lot of fuel left when he pitted. He's on lap 12 now, so it's the equivalent if he pits at the end of this. But will he? Koi Carp out there at the moment. 23-1 for Koi Carp. He's got half a tank of fuel, which I'm pretty sure is easy to get into the end, but he's not used a second compound of tyre. He's only used the soft tyres all the way through this race, and he has a pit stop on Skyjacker and Big Dan, but does he have a pit stop on Shadow Rider? But does Shadow Rider have enough fuel to get to the end? Questions, ladies and gentlemen. No answers so far. Jammy Dodger in 5th, he's running to the end, so is Electric doing a fantastic job with those medium tyres and the fuel tank in the first part of the race, but it's not done him much good against his competitors, meaning he's lost too much time saving that fuel and keeping the tyres in, and And now on the softs, I suppose the theory is he can just rip it, but so's everyone else. They're all on the soft tyres as well, ripping it also. So Big Dan then, sitting behind Skyjacker. And Skyjacker, it didn't seem like he broke sweat getting past the Big Dan there, and I don't know if it is just through the weight of the car. But does this mean that Skyjacker might have to ease off later in the race for fuel? Whereas Big Dan just slammed that fuel in that car. Shadow Rider down to a quarter of a tank of fuel. Over 10 minutes to go in this race. Koi Carp. No sign of a pit stop this time around. I think he's only going to have the next lap as an opportunity. And then, 32, maybe. It's tight. It's tight. It'll be tight on the 5 minutes if he waits a couple of laps. But we'll see. We'll see. Shadow Rider just going faster than anyone has gone before in this race. And Shadow Rider really is setting out his stall here and fancying the win. If he's got the fuel to go 10 minutes, which I don't have, I'm leaning on he hasn't got the fuel to go for 10 minutes. Skyjacker edging away, 22.0 last time out, and edging away from Big Dan, a 22.4, 4/10 slower, nearly half a second. And Skyjacker then, he'll be hoping that Koi Carp's pit stop for the medium tyres will put Koi Carp behind, but I think Koi Carp will be out ahead of them, but he'll be on some medium tyres, so these guys are going to have to go racing, but they're going to have a tyre advantage over Koi Carp. Big Dan also. But yeah, I think when Koi does make his pit stop, he's going to appear in front of Skyjacker and Big Dan, and Shadow Rider still possibly may have to make a stop because he's burning through fuel. He's getting fastest laps, so I think he's set himself up for a pit stop 5 minutes from the end of the race. This is a very strange tactic from Shadow Rider, pitting earlier than I expected. I thought he was going to do like electric, but maybe he felt he was losing a lot of time. He had just had an off and just maybe changed position, went from plan B to plan C. And electric, he stuck to that one-stop strategy. Good for 6th at the moment. Jammy Dodger though on the soft tyres ahead of him, and electric not making that much impression. Well, I don't know, 25.6 from Jammy Dodger last time out, 23.9, nearly over a second faster than the Dodger. So electric is trying to close into that gap. Big Dan seems to be happy to sat behind Skyjacker at the moment, not going for the attack. Skyjacker dicing with the edge of the track there. Shadow Rider is pitting, so Shadow Rider did need to pit. I apologise. Koi Carp still not looking to make that stop yet. So Shadow Rider, and this could be a slam dunk for Koi Carp even with the pit stop, and with Shadow Rider now out of play. Half a tank of fuel, just over half a tank he's gone for. So yeah, Koi Carp most certainly will have to make another stop. Big Dan's closed the gap. He has closed the gap between himself and Skyjacker there. I don't know if Skyjacker had a moment, a backhand stepping out on him, but now Big Dan feels comfortable to close in on Sky. Koi Carp then into the pits. No, not yet. We're not even at there. We're half a lap away from there. And there's only 2 minutes of the pits are open, so I'm sure Koi's going to get there in time. Perfectly timed for Koi, and he should come out ahead of Skyjacker and Big Dan, although their lap times, 22s, is very impressive. Koi Carp a 25 and a 23, so he's lost a bit of time to those guys ahead of him, but he did have a bit of ground on him on track. Skyjacker then ahead of Big Dan. Is Big Dan going to allow Skyjacker to take a second win? at St. Croix. Shadow Rider on his soft tyres. He's racing coy, isn't he? He's wanting to get that undercut. He's needing to get some real fast lap times in after his pit stop to beat Coy out of the pits. Coy into the final corner then, and he's perfect. He's perfectly timed. His fuel is flashing, and he'll be going on to a set of medium tyres and coming out just ahead. Oof. Hopefully they ain't got the pit lane penalty on, because he cut that line. So here we go, and Big Dan's through. Oh my word, sorry. So here we go, neck and neck coming down the straight, and Big Dan absolutely slinging Toyota, and Big Dan looking to make the move on Skyjacker. He's got the inside line here, and that was beautiful from pair of the drivers. Big Dan up and into second then as Coy goes into the pits. Skyjacker slips back. Where's Coy Carp going to come out? Oh no, that's not what Shadow Rider needs. He's not cost him too much, I think, but it's going to cost him some. And Coy Carp hoping to get out ahead of these guys. They're changing the tyres. They're giving him a splash of fuel. Big Dan's coming around the final corner. Coy Carp still stationary. Big Dan's onto the final straight now with Skyjacker. Coy Carp's now moving, and Coy Carp is out, ahead of the pack with a bit of wiggle room to deal with as well. But he's on the medium tyre. He's on the slower tyre for Coy Carp. Can he cling on ahead of Big Dan and Skyjacker, who are coming in like a force to be reckoned with? Shadow Rider then in fourth spot there. He wasn't in the fight with Coy Carp like I said he might be. Jamie Dodger in fifth. Seems safe from Electric. Electric was starting to threaten the Dodger, but has slipped back a little bit there, and the Pat he's getting good lap times out of the car now. He's starting to feel it. He's starting to get on top of the Toyota. But it's Coy Carp at the moment with 5 minutes left on the clock, 4.5 minutes left on the clock. Leads this race, but he's on the medium tyres ahead of a very determined Big Dan. Where's Skyjacker gone? What did you do? So Skyjacker really pushing his agenda on Big Dan at the moment. He's trying to get a good line there, and the car just flicked on him, and he hit the barrier. And again, it seems Skyjacker's got something in his car that if he rubs a barrier, his car has to spin around. Oh, thank God for ghosting. As Shadow Rider then looks to get a podium here. And Skyjacker losing some points to his main competitor, Big Dan, who now is not concerned about Skyjacker anymore. His concern is the Coy ahead. And Coy could have pulled off the best strategy here so far. He's slow at the end of this race, but Big Dan, the work has been done by Coy Carp early doors, and he's left his guys behind. Big Dan, remember, earlier on had a moment with Electric. I believe this was this race, and that was Skyjacker's second spin of the race. So Big Dan and Skyjacker have had adventures here, and that has worked to the benefit of Coy Carp. Like I said, he's done the work. He's done 2 treks on the softs, no mistakes. Absolutely landed his lap times and kept his nose clean, whilst those around him have had nightmares, and it's paying dividends now. And as we trek on to the end of this race, and Coy Carp has a fair lead. See, he hits the wall and doesn't spin around, doesn't he, Sky? So there's got to be something in your car, a gyro. It must be a gyro, something or other. Shadow Rider in third, Skyjacker then. Can he make up the ground to Shadow Rider in the time that we've got left? I'm unsure about that. Jamie Dodger in fifth. He seems safe by Electric. Electric slipping back even more, it seems. And Electric could be in trouble from Pat. Pat is starting to find his feet, going faster every lap now for the Pat. He's starting to suss it. And Electric could be in trouble by the end of the race. Coy Carp Who else have we lost then? Oh, JTX, I know when. Oh, Baz. We lost the Baz. I don't even notice when we lost the Baz. Unbelievable, Bazinator. What's wrong with you? And Skyjack saying Coy is an exceptional talent at avoiding spins, unlike myself. So Coy then, but Big Dan is on the horizon. So Coy Carp struggling. Oh, here we go. JTX had an alarm call at work and Baz had hardware issues. There you go. So Coy under threat of Big Dan at the moment. Shadow Rider seeming to be safe in that third spot with Skyjacker in fourth. We got the Jammy Dodger in fifth. He seems safe from Electric, and Pat trying to close in on the Electric there. And Electric having a bit of a tough time the lap before. So here we go, Coy Carp under threat of the Big Dan, but remember Coy Carp on the medium tyres. He's not got a lot in his toolkit to defend against a very fast Big Dan on a set of soft tyres, even though they are worn. I imagine Big Dan's car a lot grippier than the Coy's at the moment. And Coy Carp finding the medium tyres a little troublesome. Shadow Rider still the fastest man out there and looking good for a podium. Big Dan now all the way up and in the Coy Carp's rear derriere, putting on the pressure, letting him feel the heat, ladies and gentlemen. And Coy Carp just trying to make that crown wider than what it already is, which is pretty difficult because it's a pretty wide car. And Big Dan all up and in his rear derriere again. Another sniff. We're on the last lap. Jammy Dodgers crossed the line in fifth. Electric is going to grab himself a fine sixth place here as he sees the checkered flag wave. And then Pat in seventh. Pat, he'll be quite disappointed with that. I think he was starting to feel the car near the end there. Could have had a better race of it without all the mistakes early doors. Coy Carp then under threat from Big Dan of the inside. Can Big Dan make it stick? He does. On the softer tyres, Big Dan has chased, caught and taken the fish. Unbelievable from the Big Dan there, and his championship starts now with Skyjacker 4 places behind, three positions behind. So Big Dan, but can he hold it? It's a long way to the flag, and Coy Carp is still ever present, still ready to leap. Shadow Rider safe at the moment. Skyjacker trying to chase down Shadow Rider, hoping Shadow Rider makes a mistake. And Big Dan slide in mid-corner, but he's got it under control as Coy Carp follows him through. And Big Dan at the moment doing 23s next to Coy Carp's 26s. That's the difference between the softs and the mediums. And at the moment, Big Dan, absolutely solid drivers. Coy Carp goes a bit wide. He doesn't want to give that third place away to Shadow Rider. Shadow Rider's on the soft tyres, remember, but they're into the final corner. And that was one last hurrah from Coy Carp as Big Dan takes the flag and the win. Great drive from Big Dan there. Superb stuff on the last lap. Coy Carp in second with Shadow Rider getting the podium. Take a boo, my son. And Skyjacker then coming home in fourth place. Great drive from Skyjacker. I imagine he'll not be best pleased with the 2 spins, but not bad at all. So Big Dan took the win in the end. Great drive from Big Dan. Coy Carp, solid drive from the Coy. But those medium tyres in the end just were not grippy enough to keep the Big Dan at bay. And Adam saying, great racing to the flag. And Skyjack saying, thank you so much for covering these, bud. Great job. Bless you. Thank you. No, it's my pleasure. Shadow Rider in third. Great podium. Double podium, remember, for Koikart. Good points for him. Shadow Rider in third. Skyjacker missing out of the podium and finishing in fourth and losing some points to Big Dan there. That'll be interesting in the championship. Jamie Dodger in fifth, with Electric coming home in sixth and Pat in seventh. So that was round 2 of the Crown Masters Trophy for the Virtual Racers Club, and these guys just keep on going. It's beautiful stuff. And they've already done their third round, so we look forward to that sometime in the future. Adam in the chat saying, entertaining commentary as ever, Thingy. Thanks once again. My pleasure. I love it. A huge thank you to VRC for setting up these races. A huge thank you to our pilots that turn in week in and week out to... for the pain, the pain and the heartbreak. It's only one that can win, and the rest have to just suck it. But they come and they do it, and it's beautiful. And a huge thank you to all you guys that watch and interact and are involved. I appreciate you all. Tiru, peace and love. Peace.